When turning a massive video into a stack of short clips, you really have 3 core pillars to nail. Finding those crucial moments, editing them with speed and clarity, and nailing the final distribution. That last step, distribution, often ends up being the trickiest part of the whole process. You could have a perfect 10-second highlight, but if it lands at the wrong time or with the wrong posting cadence, it's absolutely going to flop. The editing itself is incredibly important because modern viewers have zero patience for slow content. The tiniest awkward cut or a beat that lands half a second too late, and people will just swipe right on by. For hearing-impaired folks or anyone relying on captions, small timing mismatches make your content feel instantly low effort. The good news is we now have smarter tools available that can really speed up this entire workflow while keeping that human touch intact. They won't be completely flawless, but with the right strategy, you can crank out polished clips that actually perform without burning days in your editing software. So, first things first, you need to keep every single clip super tight, aiming for snackable content under 30 seconds unless the moment is genuinely cinematic. You should also split up any caption or overlay text into short, balanced lines so viewers can comfortably read while they watch. Try treating your captions like a pyramid, where the first line is slightly shorter than the second to naturally guide the eye. Second, make sure the clip starts precisely when the action or the key line of dialogue actually begins. If someone's lips are already moving by the time your clip starts, you've already missed that initial emotional kick. This means your cuts need to be frame accurate, or at least within a few dozen milliseconds to feel professional. And third, always leave a tiny bit of breathing room right at the end of the clip. A second or two of silence or ambient sound after the punchline allows the viewer to actually absorb the takeaway. This extra space also conveniently gives you room to drop in those final end cards or a strong call to action. If you want to be surgically precise about your timing, use the visual waveform or sound spectrum in your editor to guide your cuts. Every decent editor gives you that visual track, and it's honestly the fastest way to align the start of a sentence perfectly with the clip's start. It sounds totally obvious, but tons of creators just eyeball it and end up with captions that appear half a second too late. People notice that slight delay because the human brain is weirdly sensitive to audio-visual misalignment. So, put in the tiny work up front. Aim to align every cut right on the word onsets for clarity. You also need to keep the reading speed comfortable and simply avoid cramming too much text onto the screen at once. But let's be real. Who actually has the time to manually chop for frame-perfect alignment on every single episode? This is the exact scenario where smart automation steps in to save the day. There are tools that can analyze your long video, intelligently find the high engagement moments, and output ready-to-post clips automatically. One category focuses heavily on subtitles and speech alignment, which is fantastic if transcription is your biggest bottleneck. However, if your goal is making a daily social feed from long streams, you need something that thinks in terms of clips, not just captions. Enter the new generation of tools designed to handle the full repurposing workflow without forcing you to trade speed for quality. These specialized platforms find the viral moments inside your footage, trim them into punchy, platform-ready clips, and then even help you publish them completely automatically. The core revolves around killer features, like auto-editing viral clips to find the best sound bites for you. Instead of you manually scrubbing through an hour of footage to find that golden 15-second segment, the AI automatically spots the peaks. It doesn't just randomly pick loud moments. The model is smart enough to weigh context, pacing, and overall hook strength. The actual result is clips that are far more likely to be watched all the way through and shared widely by your audience. Then there's auto-schedule, which means you no longer have to be glued to your posting dashboard every single day. You just set how often you want content to deploy and which platforms it needs to hit, and the system queues and pushes those clips for you. This brilliantly solves that classic creator problem where you have great material but absolutely zero bandwidth for consistent posting. Remember, consistency is the real secret sauce for long-term growth, not just relying on sporadic viral luck. The third major component is the centralized content calendar, your single place for planning, tweaking, and reviewing everything. If you need to swap a clip, rapidly change captions, or bulk edit those thumbnails, you do it all in one grid view. When you're juggling multiple channels or repurposing one video for TikTok, Shorts, and Reels, a unified calendar drastically saves mental overhead. Now, please don't mistake this for a magic wand that guarantees every single clip will go viral. It is fundamentally a productivity multiplier that handles the tedious, repetitive work for you. Tools that only do automatic edits often just chop based on raw volume or simple scene changes, completely missing the storytelling essence. Subtitle-first tools are amazing for getting accurate transcripts and perfectly timing your on-screen text-to-speech, however. But a simple subtitle tool won't decide which specific 20 seconds are actually worth blowing up into a standalone social post. Some other full-service platforms can also be a pain for independent creators because they charge per clip or lock features behind expensive enterprise tiers. This particular solution sits in the sweet spot, strong AI that understands social engagement cues, plus all the management features you need to actually publish. Practically speaking, here's how you weave this into your real-world workflow to get results fast. You upload your long video, let the AI generate candidate clips, and then you just scroll through and give your final approval. Don't be shy about making those final tweaks, like nudging the in or out points just a hair so the hook lands perfectly every time. You can also adjust the caption split right there to ensure maximum readability for every viewer. If you need precise translation for foreign markets, you can export the raw transcript and process it in a dedicated subtitle tool later. Finally, simply select your desired posting frequency, maybe 3 times a week or even daily, whatever matches your current energy level. The auto-scheduler takes over, spacing those posts out intelligently, and the calendar keeps your entire content map organized. A few practical tips we've seen work best include making the first 3 seconds completely unambiguous for the viewer. Use strong verbs and immediate context in your text, like saying, "Here's the moment the investor walked out," not, "This is somewhat interesting." A good benchmark is to avoid putting more than 12 to 15 words into any single caption block for comfortable short clip reading. When you repurpose the same asset across different platforms, remember to tweak the crop and thumbnail for each one. Platform norms truly differ, so your framing and presentation should absolutely be customized accordingly. If you're worried about losing that essential human touch, remember this system was built to be collaborative from the ground up. It handles the tedious first-pass editing, but you are always just one click away from applying your expert finishing polish. The hybrid model, where AI does the heavy lifting and you handle the creative refinement, yields the best possible returns. Even if you already work with a team or freelancers, the platform's export options play nicely with all your standard editing software. So yes, automation will never replace true creative taste, but it absolutely removes the time-consuming, repetitive grunt work. These tools enable you to stay consistent, which is the real underlying factor that builds audiences over the long haul. Instead of spending your evenings chopping highlights manually, you can focus on the high-level creative decisions that actually move the needle. We've seen this approach lead to faster output, better consistency, and more testing of new content angles. Keep your flagship long-form content pristine, but use automation for the daily, snackable pipeline that fuels discovery. To test this out, upload a sample video and compare the AI's suggested clips against what a simple subtitle tool might offer. You will quickly notice the suggestions tuned more toward social engagement and your desired posting schedule. You can even mix the two using the scheduler, then exporting transcripts to a tool like CheckSub for flawless multi-language captions. So, to wrap up, keep your clips short and readable, align cuts to audio peaks, allow a small breath after the main point, and use smart tools for the heavy lifting. With that approach, you'll stay perfectly in sync with your audience, both literally and figuratively. If you're interested, I can absolutely walk you through a quick demo right now to show you how to set that schedule. Alternatively, test both the full repurposing suite and a dedicated subtitle tool side by side to see which genuinely saves you the most hours. Either way, your main goal should be getting that content pipeline humming and letting smart technology handle the repetitive chores.